Well, we've been taking the cost containment discussion very seriously. I think if you look over the last couple biennia, we did a lot of work at the end of the 17 session. We have, we're looking at the unfunded liability and capital construction. As you know, that we have that subcommittee in Ways and Means that over the last couple of weeks has been getting up to speed on the unfunded liability, the structure of PERS. We have public testimony on Friday at noon. So we'll be hearing recommendations on what types of things we could do to start buying down some of the unfunded liability, because that's what's driving some of the rate increases. We know that. We have to pay for that, and that is a cost issue for schools. We're not saying it's not, and we have to have a PERS unfunded liability conversation, and we need a revenue discussion. They're not incompatible conversations.
I'm just wondering if there's a similar timeline where schools are saying, hey, we have to.
There will be by the end of session. By the end of session. Right, but they will want to know the budget. That's the important part right now. Any rate changes are not going to happen instantaneously anyway. You know, they set the rates. The rates are set for the next, for the upcoming biennium, or will be. They have some sense of where those are going to go.
The governor talked about in her budget trying to find some additional revenue to help schools with those rates.
I think what you're likely to see is the prioritization of the rates that are impacting school districts. So how do you portion off the rate increases as they relate to school districts and try to buy that down? I think that's going to be a significant part of the conversation before we exit the building. In the meantime, we need to be talking about the investments in the revenue side as well. So, and that's what the school districts are looking for. They need to know what their number is going to be the budget on.
Is there anything that has you saying this? I assume you would have, at the beginning of session, said we need to get some school revenue package in by mid-April to the House, unless there's something that's made it more urgent in your mind now, or is there a reason you're flagging it for this time, right?
Well, I think it's just a message to all of our legislators. It's a timing issue. We spent the last 4 weeks having these subcommittees. You have to leave some time for people to do their work, and they've done that work, and so now is, okay, let's put it on the table. Let's put some proposals out there. They've been talking about it for a year and a half. It's not like this is a brand new discussion, and so I think it's just, we're at that point in session. We spent the last 4 weeks having subcommittees meet. They're done. They're reporting back. At some point, you have to go, and we have to start moving on bills. So I think you're going to see that in the next week or so.
Do you feel like your members who are on that committee feel the same way, that they are also aware this is the time to go?
I think they do, and this is just a reminder that I really think this is the time to go.
What when you back up, you mentioned that they've been talking about revenue for a year and a half. It's been going on long. What leadership is the governor providing on this?
Well, I want to clarify. I think the discussion about new investments for schools has been the bulk of that conversation. You know, you had all the field hearings last year where people were on the road talking to stakeholders about what they needed. So it's been more discussion on, if we were going to raise money, what do we need it for? So there's been more of that. But I think the discussion on taxes is not a whole lot different than the last couple years. We have a corporate tax issue in the state. We have to look at different ways to raise additional corporate taxes, and the governor has been very much in line with all of that, providing staff, providing resources, through the executive side to help on that, Department of Revenue. So she built a budget based on an investment package for schools. So
even though she said on the election trail that we might not need to raise taxes in order to improve schools.
Did she say that directly?
She did.
Okay, well.
I'm going back to the end of
But her budget says otherwise. You can't get to that budget without it.
Yeah, that was after the election.
Yeah.
Going back to 2017 legislature at the end, you and the Senate President and the governor had said that revenue would be the big issue for 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seemed like it took a while to get going.
Well, I think here's what I would say. I think we made a commitment that how we fund our schools would be the big topic for 2019, which then leads to a revenue discussion. Because we came out of the 17 session, we really have to do more for K-12. This is not sustainable. Hence, we formed the Joint Committee on Student Success. So I think revenue is part of that, but it has been more about what kind of schools do we want to have. And it's going to take money to get there. And now I think we have a better sense of what we need to invest in, and we have to find the revenue. But the revenue discussion is not that unusual than we've had. There's not some brand new idea out there that's going to solve all this.
No sales tax?
Well,
is that a new idea?
There's not political viability for a straight out sales tax.
schools and revenue